Okay, I call this one playing with words. What we're going to do today is basically take a rasterized graphic and make it so text flows around it. If you find a raster graphic on the internet, make sure you follow the rules corresponding to one of the lessons that I taught you in Photoshop. If not, make sure it's hand drawn by you, or maybe make sure it's a vector graphic. It doesn't really matter. The point is, we must find something that flows well with a graphic. So today I have this guy. I'm going to open him up. And I've used him a lot. I don't know what his little greedy heart actually like makes me melt every time I see him. Let's see here. It is called. Let everything kind of just go in here. This guy. Now, if you know, my image size right here is huge. 40 inches by 53 inches real world. Okay? It's 72 dots per inch, but in real world terms, this thing's huge. So if I was to shrink this to an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, the resolution will be really nice to work with. The first thing that we have to do, because I know no matter what we do, we have to find a way to separate the foreground and the background. Okay, so that's what we're going to do first, is separate those two values. Usually in this case, what I'll do is duplicate this and start working around the image with the eraser. It's a long, tedious process, but it's a lot better than actually going onto the form and trying to highlight it. So, what I'm going to do here is grab the eraser tool, which is located here, and grab a decent brush, something with a little bit of an edge, but not too much. So this one right here. Another thing I want to do is make it so I could see the background as a different color. Okay, so make a new layer, and in here I want to fill this with maybe white. Keep note, you may not use this graphic. You have to use a graphic of your own. This is just an example on how to separate the background from the foreground. Alright, so with my eraser tool, I'm just going to whip around, and immediately I see something wrong. I see coily cues. Okay, so what do? We go over to the brush menu, which mysteriously disappeared in some case, so I'll have to go get it. Brushes, and turn down my brush spacing. Another thing I see is my Wacom tablet is not working, or it would be tapered. There we go. Okay, so there's a nice, it's a really hard edge, however. It's very hard. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to blend those two values very well. So I'm going to go choose a different brush. I'm going to choose maybe this one right here, this number 9. And I can see this still has some really harsh values. So I'm going to choose a number 9. There we go. So it's softer around the edge. That's what I really am looking for. And I'm really zoomed in here. You have to be. So I'm just zooming around. And I'm going to cut this guy completely out of the background. Okay. Let's close this menu out and let's zoom around. Okay, so this is a long, tedious background process that you have to do. What I'm going to do is end this video and then go on to the next video when I have a complete groove cut around the character, and then I'll show you how to separate the two values.